Hey everyone, how's it going? It is November 16th. We just got the closing bell. We were expecting a chop fest for the day, and we definitely got the chop fest. So let's see how the market actually developed. Over here in the S&P 500, you can see that we said as long as we stayed within these lines over here, then we would consider that chopping, just chopping sideways. And we definitely stayed within these lines. And you can see for the last half of the day, we mostly stayed within this very tight range right here, only bumping up a little bit in the very last minute of the day. So we are up 0.12% on the S&P 500, which is basically nothing. It's just gone sideways. And what's important to note here is you can't see it. There we go. Low volume, very low volume. So all last week, for the most part, and most of the days this week, we've just been having extremely low volume, which is kind of unusual. This is more like behavior that we would expect next week. Next week, we have a holiday. In the United States, it's Thanksgiving. So the market is closed on Thursday and it is only open for half the day on Friday. So we should expect very low volume, muted trading next week. And we're already getting it this week. So next week might be even lower. It might be even less. And that means choppy trading, very illiquid trading, maybe some gappy trading. This is going to be interesting to see how this develops into next week, if we actually get a pullback or if we're just going to chop around. So we want to start being careful and positioning ourselves before the weekend and into next week because of that limited liquidity that we're expecting. So we already have low volume. We're going to get even less volume. We may expect spreads to be even wider next week. So we wanted, tomorrow especially, we want to be aware of that and start doing the hedges that we need to, or getting out of positions that aren't performing, or we don't want to see wild swings in over the next week. So for now, we're just looking at this chop. And if we don't get that pullback tomorrow, then what we'll do is we'll start flattening our positions. All right, this one today in the after session, there's just nothing happened today. And we're all so little is happening in terms of news, in terms of the economy, or economic data, in terms of interest rates and bonds. So there's not too much to talk about today, except we just went sideways. It's not that interesting. It's not to say that we don't have opportunities. As long as we continue to focus on stocks that are strong relative to the market and weak relative to the market, there's still chances for us to see movement and make money. So for example, a couple of shorts that I have are ILMN. Okay, so we see that ILMN was very weak to the market, even though the market's been moving really far up the last couple of weeks. ILMN has been moving down. And so today there was a nice bounce off of the EMA 8 and it moved downwards. It was down 5% when the S&P 500 is flat. So there's still opportunities like this. Another one is LTHM. Same thing. On a day where we're flat in the S&P 500, we're down 9% in LTHM. So as long as we look for stocks that are weak to the market, there's still opportunities on the put side, and we look for stocks that are strong to market, there's still opportunities to upside. So yesterday, as our trade example, we had Starbucks as strong to the market. And you see that we did get directional movement in Starbucks up 1.1%. Yeah, 1.1% versus the flat in the S&P 500. Now, remember this one where we were just saying, hey, in case we're wrong and it goes up, we want something strong to the market, but being very aware that we're up here in that +3 ATR region and this could pull back at any moment. So let's go ahead and take a look at our saved. Here we go. Starbucks up 15% in one day when the market was flat. That's not bad. I'll probably consider closing this, but maybe tomorrow because of the action. We don't want to hold it over the weekend and into the holiday week. So just in case the market continues to move up, so we want to be hedged. We want to be be able to take advantage if it does pull back, because Starbucks will get hurt if it does pull back, because once again, we expect it to maybe pull back to the EMA 8. And if it does that, then obviously this position will get hurt. We just won't get hurt as much as if we were in the overall market or in the indices. So let's look for a opportunity to the put side. And let me decide how we're going to do that today. Maybe something you haven't seen yet or haven't seen for a while. So let me look for a I'm blinking on the one I'm looking for. I don't know why. Do I have, let's just look at all of, let's look at a power trend. Not a lot of them available. So let's see, actually, let me look at the 20-day highs and the breakouts, 20-day breakouts and breakdowns. So we're still topish, 220 versus 37. We hit that 500 a couple days ago, or was it yesterday? 400 yesterday, 558 the day before. So we are ripe for pullback. It's less today, so a little bit less pressure today, but there's definitely room for us to pull back. And let's go for the power trend bear. Did I click on the wrong one? There we go. So let's take a look at First Solar and Birkenstock and XLV. Okay, so XLV moving up to its MA50. It is relatively weak to the market this entire time. It's still in its downtrend. It did not make a higher high. It is only matching the local high right here. We did get a higher low though. So XLV, let's see if we have a better opportunity. Let's look at Birkenstock. Never mind. This thing just IPO'd recently, I guess, or we don't have much data, so we're not going to consider that one. And let's take a look at First Solar. Solar Energy has not been doing very well. So this has been in a downtrend. It's been popped up and it's now matching these highs right here, hitting that MA50, very similar to XLV, except this is even weaker than XLV. This is an option. So in one of my classes, we are short CSIQ, which is also solar. And we can see, so if I'm going to choose between First Solar and CSIQ, this CSIQ is even weaker. So I would choose CSIQ. Let's take a look at what else we got here. Let's try a trend bear. NEM CTVA. NEM. Very similar situation for Newmont Mining. And then let's take a look at, what was that? CTVA. Okay, so down day, red bar. CSIQ was a flat bar. Newmont Mining was a green bar, barely green bar, so basically a flat bar. Let's go with CTVA, since it has that red bar. It's weak to the market. So it came up, touches the MA20 today. Looks like it might bounce down off of it. So let's go ahead and for the aftermarket trade, let's look at CTVA. And we would be looking at a put out into January to match the Starbucks position that we have. And this one will go at about 75 delta, similar to the one that we did yesterday for Starbucks. So if we go down $1, we make 15 cents. I'm doing something wrong here. Let's see, CTVA. So I do have my option tables up today, so I don't have to mess around. We can just get it. CTVA would go to our delta's over here, 75 delta, there you go. So 50. That's interesting. There must have been a revaluation or a dividend or something because these strikes are very strange. 23, 25, 28, so up by 2s and 3s. That's really interesting. Okay, so let's go with the 50 strike. Because we're going in the money. Yeah, we're going in the money, so we need to go up higher. So I go to 50 strike. That'd be 355. And I want to match deltas here. So I did match deltas, so I want to match dollar amounts. So here we invested $790. So here we would do 2 of these to make it $710, just to make it a similar amount. Okay. And we'll save that trade. After market 11/16/2023. Okay. So not a lot happening in the market today. We just went sideways. We want to gear up for the holidays. So we're in our portfolio. We want to make sure we're going flat. So if for every long there's a short, or we just close everything, or however you want to hedge. So, but in a chopping market, going long strong stocks and going weak stocks is a really good idea because you can still, like I showed you in those few examples, you can still make money even though the market is just chopping sideways. Okay, so that's it for today. Nice and short since there's not a lot going on in the market. We'll see if we get a quiet Friday. I have a feeling that people are going to start, at least institutions are going to start positioning themselves for the weekend and for the following week, although we've been super low volume for almost 2 weeks now. So maybe they're already relatively positioned, mostly in cash. So we'll see. We'll have to see what everything looks like tomorrow morning, and we'll get a better picture. And then obviously, as we trade throughout the day, we'll get an even better picture. But we're going to give it our best go in the pre-session tomorrow morning. Okay. So have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the